Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name's David Joyner, librarian at Marysville High School, adjunct librarian at Yuba College, and this is EdTech Tuesday, education technology for tomorrow on Tuesdays. And I'd like to welcome my guests today who are in attendance, and we will talk about using an iPod Touch or iPhone, and I'm even going to talk about an iPad to record educational content. And again, this is a presentation. All EdTech Tuesday presentations are more to just whet a person's appetite a little bit, to just quickly show some devices and some ideas, and to motivate them into maybe experimenting with a few things. And again, I'm the presenter. I brought refreshments, and this will be recorded in Camtasia Studio, edited, and then posted to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about devices and equipment, Apple devices such as your iPhone, iPod, iPad, holding devices for tripod, okay, not just setting them on a table and stuff, but actually a device, a handy little inexpensive device that will allow you to put them to a tripod. I have a favorite recording app that I use in my iPod, and I'll demonstrate that. There are others, and folks in attendance may have their own favorite ones for recording videos. And then again, I use Camtasia, which is a bit of an expensive software to edit in, but there are a couple other alternatives that would be less expensive, and we'll talk about that. And then again, how do you share this? And then a quick bit about flipping the classroom. So first, you need an Apple device. In my case, I'm going to start out with my iPod Touch. It's a 5. So once you have your device, you need a holding device. And what I was showing here earlier, it's called a Joby grip tight mount. And I'll demonstrate here on camera. So ideally, all you do is take one. I always put this in the upper left corner. So you put it here in the device, and it holds it pretty good. Oops. That's why you put protective cases on it. So it holds it pretty good. And, oops.
Which way does the screen? Does it face you?
Well, yeah, the screen faces. That's a good question. Which way do you put this in? And again, you put it in so you have the clear view of the screen, and that the lens is unobstructed by the device. And for my iPod and the software, it likes to be in this upper, as you're looking through onto the screen, upper left corner. So would be the way to mount that. Then of course you fire up your machine, you'd find your favorite app, and
They make one of those for iPads too?
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. They're a little more expensive and they're a little more involved. It's just that this, and again, of course, I'm showing you how my iPod Touch works. An iPhone, of course, works. And that's my Android phone. My Galaxy S3 does the same thing. So we're not going to talk about Android today so much, but maybe I'll work up an Android one. I don't use my Android device to record with at this time. So because right now my iPod Touch has the best camera in my small devices. Alrighty, so that's the holding device. It's from a company called Joby, and it's $20 from them. So if you're in the Amazon ecosystem, it might be a couple bucks cheaper, and if you're a Prime member, it would be free. So, and again, at the end of this recording, or down at the bottom below the recording on my YouTube channel, I'll have links to this stuff so people can go look for themselves. Now, I have what's called a Gorillapod, and it's fairly inexpensive. It's 20 bucks, and it would be a good alternative to a full-blown tripod for maybe an educator, because they can clamp it on little things. I didn't have a little thing. You can clamp it to a speaker. There you go. Something like that. You could just clamp it to whatever's handy in the classroom. Maybe if there's a flagpole, if you're outside. Yeah, so this is a very handy little device. There's a little fancier one they make that costs a little more and has magnetic feet. And they're supposed to be strong enough to hold the weight of an iPod. But again, that's why you put bumper cover on your iPod device, on your iDevice, so it keeps it a little safer. And then, of course, then you'd have also just, if you want a full-blown tripod, and those don't really run too expensive if you don't want anything too involved, but a full-blown tripod then that would allow you to set up anywhere in the classroom and move it around. So, and again, educators may already have this stuff. You know, if you've been around a while, you got the video camera from back in the day. Well, there might have been a tripod you bought and it's up in the closet if you're not using the old, big old, you know, VHS, yeah, recording stuff. Those had to be substantial tripods. So you may have a good tripod up in the attic. So keep that in mind, yeah. So now we're going to talk about apps. Now I used Movie Pro. I like to use Movie Pro. But of course, the iPhone, iPods, iPads have what? There's that camera, the camera app, and it will do video also. So if you, again, don't want to spend any money, it's just that the $299 for the Movie Pro. And what I like about the Movie Pro, we'll get to this. The Movie Pro has adjustable audio, and I have a device. We're going to talk about improved audio, where you plug in a little $25 device and it will let you enhance, have a better audio if you spend a little bit more money. But again, but if you just want to start, it would be cheap tripod, $20 clamp, your iPhone, and just see how that goes. Because the mic on an iPhone and iPod aren't bad, so that's all. Okay.
So the Movie Pro is then is just a recording?
Yes, it's a recording app, but no, I do not know, but it will then export out, and again, because these are such short presentations, that might be another one if folks have a body of work that they want to put into post-production, make look better. That could be, I could talk more about how to do that once they have materials to work with. So this is that improved audio. It's called a Tascam IXR. Now, it has that 1, 2, 3, 4, that 4 plug that you would use in a phone or an iPod that has like the fancy microphone headset. So it uses an Apple, what's that called, 4-band plug, if I'm right, and it runs on you put a couple pin lights in here, and I'm hanging this other stuff. If you were to go and buy an inexpensive, what they call an XLR, or if you're old, a Canon connection microphone. Okay, this is just a little mic I have. So if you're in one spot, you have a mic stand and your iPod, it plugs in, and this allows a little higher quality mic and a positionable mic on your body. So it's just a device to, again, whet your appetite that this isn't, because this is $25 now on Amazon. It used to be $70, now they've come down, and it does a nice job. I've used it for some other videos in terms of, and then what I want to do now is cut to some web pages to show you folks. So there's the Joby in action, and
they got regular cameras up in there too.
yeah, they make bigger ones. So you want the lighter weight one, but yeah, these are actually a little heavier duty than this little guy that can handle those XLR, full size XLRs. So good company, interesting company, not too expensive if you get into it. Now we talked about iPads, and Joby is sending folks off to a place called Wally. You get a Wally mount, and these this is $119 for a Wally mount. So yeah, it clamps on. So I would say that was just, I knew about the Wally mount. I have my iPad and it could do that, but it's kind of big and bulky, so you'd have to, I don't know, big rubber bands or something, figure out something if you just want to test your iPad out. And then again, if you go with the smaller iPad, the mini iPad, so just, I would say at this point, I didn't do a lot of research on it, just shop around, just Google mini iPad tripod holder, and that would you'd find something that might work. Tethering tools, tripod tethering tools. So, okay, and then the thing is that you can buy an XLR microphone for about, if you go to Amazon, for about $15, and that's a handheld mic, or get a little cheap stand. And then an XLR cable, fairly long, is $5. So, you know, depends on if a person wants to flip their classroom and wants to record themselves inexpensively. But again, if you have an iPhone, that's the most expensive part, because what, a good video camera is going to be a couple $300. So, and like I said, the iPhone and the iPad camera are comparable to what you buy in the big cameras anymore. And that's, yeah. Okay.
How many teachers at this campus do you think understand what flipping a classroom is?
Dean Allen, and you guys, do you know what flipping a classroom means? It means, okay, that's a good question. What do my colleagues know about flipping a classroom? Well, and again there, in this program, I have incorporated a little bit of information on that. That's the editing software. So iMovie is an inexpensive app, reasonably what is it? It's $4.99 for iMovie.
$4.99.
Yeah, for the yeah.
It's a really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah. And if you have a phone, so if you could get the recordings on your phone and get them transferred to your iPod and then use that $5 software, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities that could happen there. All right.
I've used it on my iMac before. It's just
How much is it for the iMac, though? That's a little more expensive program.
It was $9.99.
Oh, not much more expensive. Okay, good, good. And then if you're PC-based, you have, movie-making PC software, Microsoft software, that if you can, and again, you have to research how to download your video from your phone into a PC, but that should go through your iTunes when you work on that. So, but again, this isn't so much a presentation of how do we do these things. I'm just kind of throwing them out there and saying that it's all a possibility. I wish we had more time to do a whole day workshop. Then hosting and sharing your resources. At one of my Boise State classes, I have a screencast account, but I don't use it, and they're free. I'll have to go and hunt that up. And then, of course, I upload a lot of videos to YouTube itself, so YouTube is free. Yeah, I think, but actually you need to use an avatar name I have. It's called Silshoot, SILHSHOOT, to find me.
Is that the thing you sent me, am I, or sent?
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. And so again, and generally any video I would make for Marysville High School or the district or something, I would send the link out to people. So they don't have to hunt me up, they'll just have a link available. So, which again, as a teacher, if you develop a channel of flipped content, which we'll talk about in a second, then your students can just go to YouTube. But you can upload this stuff to Edmodo also, any videos that you make. And it's just that my ecosystem right now is in the YouTubes. I need to start putting more and more stuff into the Edmodo. So flip teaching. If you go to Wikipedia, type in flip teaching, they'll explain it to you. And flip teaching, or flipped classroom, is a form of blended learning in which students learn learn new content online by watching video lectures. They do that at home. Then when they come to class, they do the lessons, where the teacher then can be the tutor of sorts, can double check and reinforce the learning. Yeah. So it's what's been catching on. It's a break from the traditional sage on the stage instruction.
They talk a lot about it at the conference. I didn't know what it was at the time, so it's like, no, I'm not interested. But after going to some of these tech meetings that Brian has, and listening
Correct.
to some of these math teachers in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
it's everybody is on page, everybody's getting help in the classroom because they've already, on their own time, watched the lesson, watched the lecture.
Mm-hmm.
Do it in class, you just practice doing it.
Right. So, and then a story I can add with that is I have some instructional videos that come from a place called Common Craft, and they're cartoonish in nature, and they talk about web safety, web searching, plagiarism. And so Ms. Duncan will bring her AP and her honors class in, and they'll be watching things or listening to us. And of course, they're all not paying that much attention, typical class environment. Minute I hit the videos, they listen and watch. Of course, I'm playing it pretty loud, but Ms. Duncan leaned over, boy, they watch these videos. It's I guess, modern human nature. They'll watch what's on a screen. Bad, good, and I don't know, but if that's what they do and we can teach them using that, yeah, that'll work. So, and then EduCause, which I actually have a subscription, kind of an email subscription. That's an organization that's done a white paper on the flipped classroom. But it's creating content and offering it to the students at home. Now, what are the other ramifications to this? All students have to be connected or own a device or something in some way. Maybe ways around that is that they have to go to the library after school for an hour to watch all their stuff before they go home. So it's still evolving. It's nothing that's being, people are experimenting, and it depends on the environment and where folks are at. Alrighty, so 3:50, that concludes today's EdTech Tuesday, which is educational technology for tomorrow on Tuesdays. And as I promised, we start at 3:30 and we are always done by 4 o'clock. So I like to thank my studio audience and thank their question, thank them for their questions. And hope the folks who watch this podcast find it interesting, and I'll talk to you later. You can applaud.